Hello you absolute legends. Osu is huge. It's easily one of the most popular rhythm games of all time, boasting millions of active players and supporting one of the most dedicated and passionate communities you'll ever find. And because the community is so large and so dedicated, the natural result is a very competitive scene at the top level, with truly unbelievable levels of skill being reached by its top players. Every time I cover a new game, I'm blown away by how good the best players are, but with Osu especially, I just can't wrap my mind around how these people do what they do. Anyone within the top 1000 and even beyond is extremely talented, but as you get nearer to the very top, players become incomprehensibly skilled at the game. We will get into the specifics of gameplay shortly, but for me personally, it doesn't matter how many replays I watch, my brain just isn't fast enough to keep up with what's going on. When it comes to cheating in Osu, the community is also extremely vigilant. There are entire sub-communities devoted to finding and weeding out suspicious players, and there are a bunch of different methods players have tried to use in the past to fake their way up the ranks. Over the years, anti-cheat detection has improved tremendously, which is why it had been almost a decade since a top-ranked player was exposed for cheating. All top players are expected at some point to prove their skill with the use of handcam, and live play videos are studied down to the frame to ensure there is no foul play. But there was one particular player, one cheater, who managed to slip through the cracks and work their way up to almost the very top of the ranks, eventually reaching third. The reason they made it this far was because they were good, and I mean they were genuinely a really good player. They had been playing Osu since 2017, and by 2023, they were ranked within the top 200, which is already incredible. Then, in early 2023, they seemingly became possessed. His gameplay went to the next level, and he suddenly developed mastery of skills he never had before. This allowed him to rise even further up the ranks, all the way to the podium. Unlike other top players, however, this person wasn't uploading any handcams, and when they streamed, the noise from their keyboard was suspiciously absent, but people let it slide. I mean, this was a good player who had been playing the game at a top level for many years. Surely there was nothing to worry about. But alas, in June of 2024, the community was shocked when a bombshell report was posted online detailing gameplay analysis that all but confirmed this person had been cheating for well over a year. In today's video, we will take a look at the biggest Osu cheating scandal in a decade, and yet another example of a very talented player who fell to the dark side. I really hope you enjoy. Now legends, I am here once again to spread an important message. Just because we are nerds, EC upgrade possibly can put off upgrading. The link to this video, I'm going to call it Osu, simply because it stands out more and it's easier to differentiate within sentences for people who aren't too familiar with the game. Osu separates itself from other rhythm games in a unique way, in a game like OS, as EC you truly deserve. The link to Starforge Systems is in the description, go and check them out today. Before we begin, let's address the elephant in the room, the pronunciation of the name of the game. The official pronunciation is OS, as confirmed by the developer. But for this video, I'm going to call it Osu, simply because it stands out more and it's easier to differentiate within sentences for people who aren't too familiar with the game. Osu separates itself from other rhythm games in a unique way. In a game like Geometry Dash, there is only one button, so the emphasis is entirely on how precisely you can time your inputs. In a game like Guitar Hero, timing is still important, but there is a bit more leeway. What makes Guitar Hero uniquely challenging is that there are 5 separate buttons you need to hit, and this requires a
chased away
Welcome
the gale.
to Summoner's Rift.
Now I hunt a storm of darkness.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Storm of blades! Steel gale!
Minions have spawned.
Forgiveness is complicated. Such bravado, but you're fooling no one.
Defeat.
Large amount of finger dexterity. In Osu, the timing requirements are similar to that of Guitar Hero, where there is a window of frames that successfully count as a hit. Only this time when you hit an input, your cursor needs to be inside a specific area of the screen, indicated by a small circle. So this creates two primary skill sets, input precision and cursor accuracy, or aim. The game indicates when you need to time your inputs based on an enclosing outer ring, when to be inside a separate button you need to hit, and this requires a large amount of finger dexterity. In Osu, the timing requirements are similar to that of Guitar Hero, where there is a window of frames that successfully count as a hit. Only this time when you hit an input, your cursor needs to be inside a specific area of the screen, indicated by a small circle. So this creates two primary skill sets, input precision and cursor accuracy, or aim. The game indicates when you need to time your inputs based on an enclosing outer ring. When the ring touches the circle, this indicates when you need to hit the button. The game allows you to program two different keyboard keys, which can be whatever you want as inputs, and you can hit whichever key you like. Some people like to primarily use one key for most of their inputs, while others like to alternate between the two. You can use a mouse or a touchscreen to control your cursor, but these days most top players use a pen and a tablet. When players get better at the game and want a greater challenge, they can choose to turn on certain gameplay modifiers that make the game harder. For example, the modifier Hard Rock makes the circle smaller, thus requiring greater aim. Double time increases the tempo, and the modifier Hidden eliminates the timing rings and makes circles disappear shortly before you need to hit them. The best players seek to attain more performance points on each map by turning on most or all of these modifiers and achieving the maximum amount of possible combos. In order to climb up the ranks, you obviously need to be able to score a higher amount of performance points on maps, but it's more about quality rather than quantity, as the ranks only consider your top 100 scores and uses a weighting system to determine your rankings. To be the best, it's far better to spend your time doing really well on a smaller number of maps than grinding mediocre scores on as many maps as you can. Some maps are harder than others, and if a map is harder, it means you can score more performance points. The two main variables that determine difficulty is the physical distance between each successive circle and the amount of hits required within a certain time. Circles that are very far apart require bigger jumps, and this really tests a player's ability to aim. And if there are more objects that need to be hit in a short amount of time, this tests a player's ability to hit quickly. These two variables are very distinct skills, called aim and speed, and usually top players specialize in one or the other. These two specialties result in entire maps being focused on one skill or the other. For example, here is a top aim player, White Cat, playing a map that is primarily based around aim. And here is a top speed player, Scytho, playing a map that is focused on speed.
I will follow you wherever you may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away. But where you go, I'll follow.
In rare cases, players can be really good at both, like the top-ranked player Mrek, but generally players have a well-defined preference. Tapping speed is an interesting skill, and in my 25 years of speedrunning, I've found that people either usually have the gift of fast tapping, or they don't. Some people are just built to tap, and if you aren't designed in a specific way, it's very hard to compete with someone who is. One such player who was seemingly not designed to tap quickly was a player known as Clouterful. Clouterful has gone by several different names over the years, for example Epic Gaming or Chudsun, but in this video I'm going to refer to him as Clouterful. Clouterful began playing Osu in 2017, and over the years it became clear that he was an extremely gifted player specializing in aim maps. By 2021, he had climbed into the top 200, where he remained for the next 2 years. For 6 whole years, Clouterful was known as an aim player, and he was genuinely good. But in 2023, something changed. Seemingly out of nowhere, Clouterful learned how to tap. Suddenly, he was submitting extremely high scores for speed maps. Somehow, some way, Clouterful had evolved, and over the next year, he would use this newfound skill to rise through the ranks, to almost the very top of the world. Tapping in Osu is much more sophisticated than the normal kind of tapping you would see in something like speedrunning. The most common type of tapping is called jitter tapping. This is where you tense your forearm, which causes your entire arm to vibrate. When I covered the first damageless run of Ninja Gaiden, I mentioned that in order to kill the final boss without taking a hit, you need to rapidly tap the buttons at around 15 presses per second. And using this jitter tapping technique, 15 presses per second is really, really fast. But it's not the fastest way to tap, nor is it the most precise if you don't need to hit both buttons at the same time. Osu allows you to use any two buttons, and if you use an alternating finger technique, you can not only reach speeds of 20 presses per second and beyond, but you can do it in a way that is a lot more controlled and precise. This is called streaming, and to do it really well requires a ton of practice and a ton of talent. In contrast to jitter tapping, which requires maximum tension in the wrist and arm, streaming requires a relaxed technique. This is because speed maps generally force you to stream constantly, and if you have too much tension in your hand, you'll fatigue far too quickly. Before 2023, Cloutiful never demonstrated a high skill level when it came to streaming. He focused entirely on aim maps, which is why in hindsight it's almost too obvious how strange it is that basically overnight he completely switched his specialty to speed. It was in March of 2023 that Cloutiful suddenly became a speed god, and quickly started rising through the ranks. By March 2024, 1 year later, he had risen to number 5 in the world, and by June, he had hit number 3, and who knew just how far he would have gone if fate didn't intervene. Despite his rapid rise, Cloutiful didn't raise any suspicions, and there were a few good reasons for this. He was a very trusted player who had been in the community for many years. In fact, prior to 2023, he very often streamed on Twitch with full handcam, showing everything. So the effect of doing this previously meant that no one doubted his skill. It was only in 2023, after he began his rapid rise through the top 100, that he started to stream without handcam. This in of itself isn't too suspicious, but again, in hindsight, it all makes sense. He was also very active within community discords, and was very friendly with many of the other top players. But there did come a turning point. There was a moment in time that eyebrows everywhere became raised. In mid-June 2024, Cloutiful performed a high score on the map Snow Goose that was insane. It wasn't insane because it was the highest score ever on that map, which it wasn't, but rather more because it
cursed second life. Where does the mask end and I begin?
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Now, there is only the hunt. Blink and what must be done? Aren't you a haunted one? Business is complicated. I'm not here for you. Storm of blades. Spirit unmoored. Bound by your insecurities.
Blood. An enemy has been slain.
I do not hunt to kill. Relinquish your burdens. Everyone wears masks.
An enemy has been slain. I'm not here to save their souls. Spirit realm is strange. A mirror, an inverse of our own. Piercing winds! I do what must be done. Once bound me above all else. Storm of blades! Piercing winds! destiny. Only tomorrow. The haunted cower behind polite fictions. Cross the veil. The hunt. It never ends. Storm of blades! Here, once named. Sleep is not for the weak, but for the blessed.
An ally has been slain.
I forget what lies behind this mask. Storm of blades! No time for sympathy! Piercing winds!
Enemy to Mars. Have been slain. An ally has been slain.
Not enough to stop me.
An ally has been slain.
Rare is the person who shows their truth. Storm of blades! End their depredations. Piercing winds! Carve the spirit! Uncertainty and fear. Asakana abound. Scale! Rise!
Your turret has been destroyed.
To save someone, you must fight them.
An enemy has been slain.
Inner demons.
Come on, touch me.
It only clouds the future.
Your turret has been destroyed. Has been slain.
Nowhere to hide.
An ally has been slain.
Storm of blades. No sleep, no rest. There is no time. Humans lie. Swords speak truth. Long before blades and sorcery are needed, words can save a soul.
Defeat.
Could have been, and it could have been by a huge margin. Cloutaful missed a few notes before the end section, but if he hadn't, it was possible to achieve a score of over 2,000 performance points. To put that into context, the highest ever score to date on any map is 1,711 performance points by a Colibet, set last year. What's even more alarming about this performance is that it was done live, and Cloutaful's reaction is honestly baffling.
What is that you are? Excuse me? Excuse me? What the f? I'm cheating. I'm literally cheating. I'm literally f***ing cheating. I'm unironically cheating. I'm f***ing cheating.
It's hard to know exactly what he was thinking here. Obviously, Cloutaful thought that by saying he was cheating in such a brazen way, it would make others less suspicious. But his tactic evidently failed, because after this, people immediately began examining his replays, and it didn't take long before someone discovered that something about Cloutaful's inputs was very strange. One day after his 2000 PP choke, a user by the name of Child Fangirl posted a report to the subreddit Osu Report. This is a subreddit dedicated to posting reports about suspicious Osu players. Child Fangirl used software to analyze Cloutaful's replays and to get exact information about how long he was holding down his keyboard inputs. In their report, they showed that Cloutaful had a very weird hold time distribution. This is the length of time a key is pressed and held in milliseconds. The graphs showed a huge spike around the 63 millisecond mark, which is not normal. Other players showed a much more standard bell curve in their hold times. It's just not feasible for a human to be this constant and precise with their hold times, which naturally indicates that there is likely some illegal software being used to press inputs. This is why in the original report, they suggested the cause of this anomaly could be the use of a bot which would hit inputs for you. A day after this first report was dropped, a software engineer known as Minisbet developed her own replay analyzer that would go a step further and distinguish hold times for each individual key. This showed that it was only one of the keys that exhibited this inhuman precision, and from here, it didn't take long for people to replicate these suspicious hold times, using custom settings on a Wu-Ting keyboard, the exact keyboard that Cloutaful owned and used. Wu-Ting is a keyboard brand that is extremely popular amongst top Osu players. They are specifically designed for rhythm games like Osu that rely heavily on precise and fast input timings. The keyboards come with software that allows you to adjust the way they function. In order to replicate the hold time distribution shown in Cloutaful's replays, they needed to drastically change the way the keyboard functions. The primary key remained the same, but the secondary key's function was reversed. When you pressed down on the key, nothing happened. But when you released the key, that's when it registered a hit. It would then release the input by itself when the key reaches the top. So this 63 millisecond timing that was so common is the time it took for the key to go from being pushed down to being back to a neutral position, which is obviously going to be very consistent based on the mechanics of the keyboard. Philosophically, this is a problem for two reasons. One, it completely changes how a a keyboard should work and how a keyboard is intended to work normally. And 2, the ultimate effect is that there are 2 distinct actions with a single stroke. Normally, you would need to both press down to activate and release upwards to deactivate a key. With this setting, a single upstroke both activates and deactivates the key automatically. If this were allowed, you could use the same logic to apply the same settings on the downstroke as well, where a downstroke would both hit and release in one motion as well as the upstroke. This would allow you to tap twice as fast with a single finger without doing anything differently. And in practice, using 2 keys activating on different strokes does effectively allow you to tap twice as fast. Now, instead of jitter tapping maxing out at around 15 presses per second, you can just tap 2 fingers at the same time and your tapping speed is now 30 presses per second with no extra work. Even though using these settings perfectly replicated Cloudful's hold time distribution, people at first assumed it wasn't possible this feature was used. This was due to the fact that you need to hold down a button for longer periods in order to hit sliders, which are these snake-like objects. You need to hit them when the slider begins and then hold the button down while you follow the path until the end. So if you can't hold the button down, this presents a problem. But this was a massive initial oversight, because this is only a problem if you intend to use the secondary key for sliders. If you only use the primary key for most inputs and just use the secondary key when streaming, it works perfectly fine. Naturally, after this bombshell report was released, the community wanted Cloudful to show his gameplay live with full hand cam, so they could see what's really going on. Cloudful would delay this for several days, saying that he wasn't feeling well. However, in the meantime, he did jump into a Discord call with a user by the name of AOS, who sent Cloudful some software hoping to test his input timings. The test was really simple. All Cloudful had to do was stream using various key combinations, and the software would record the input timings for each, to see if this happened on every key combination or just the one he used to play Osu. And despite the simple test, Cloudful couldn't do it. He failed or refused to follow basic instructions. Numerous times his mouse left the screen during tests, and many times he came up with excuses as to why he suddenly had to leave, including being called by his mum multiple times.
No, I'm just being called.
Oh, no.
Wait, I need to make sure my mom's like calling me. My mom keeps getting in my room.
No.
Wait, I'm sorry for like sussing you out. My mom's like calling me again, dude. I'm actually like sorry. Wait, 1 second.
I need to go something now.
I know it's gonna be like sus and whatever. Like it's gonna look sus. But I'm like, I don't know.
No, we just work on it.
The entire call was very, very strange. Finally, 3 days later, Cloudful did upload some gameplay with handcam to his YouTube channel. The video showed everything you would want to see, from the computer being turned on, to all of the software he was running, to the keyboard settings, to his gameplay in action. But it was immediately obvious something was off about his keyboard inputs. Cloudful wasn't streaming during streams. In other words, his fingers weren't alternating as they should be. His fingers and hands were fixed in place, and he was using jitter tapping. It was clear as day that he was hitting both inputs at the same time. But when you looked at his inputs on screen, they were clearly alternating. Something wasn't adding up. Between his live gameplay attempts, Cloudful showed the routing software, and according to the profile he was using, his settings appeared normal, but some keen eyes who were familiar with the routing keyboard and how it worked immediately spotted some shenanigans. His software listed 4 different profiles, which is normal. However, he only showed the very first one, and by default, if you want to switch profiles, you press the function and enter keys at the same time. And lo and behold, after playing the game for the first time, and before showing his keyboard settings, he pressed function and enter to switch profiles. And then when he closed the software, and just before he started playing, he switched profiles again. As soon as this video was posted online, it became evident Cloudful was cheating, and after
cursed second life. Where does the mask end and I begin?
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn.
A walking... An innocent spirit. I'd almost forgotten those existed.
Minions have spawned.
Done what you don't understand.
Without a banquet of sorrow,
Nope.
Azakana starves. Strike through! Azakana abound. In uncertainty and fear, the Azakana prowl.
Where's the tab?
Storm of blades! Such a burden shoulder.
Bring it down a notch.
What does one do with an abundance of masks? I've walked it once before.
Don't even think about it.
Rare is the person who shows their true face.
First blood.
Some days, I forget what lies behind this mask. The hunt. It never ends.
An enemy has been slain.
Fear, once named, controls no one. Carve the spirit!
Whatever.
Humans lie. I am not the enemy. Lies!
An ally has been slain.
I'm not here to
An
save
ally
us.
has been slain.
My own.
An ally has been slain.
Bound to the world of the living. Denied the peace of death. Unworthy of my blades! Gale! You can't flee your fears! Lord! Severed! Must be done! Carve the spirit! Forget the past. It only clouds the future.
An ally has been slain.
Azakana trap their victims in a vicious cycle of emotion. Doubt breeds doubt. Fear breeds fear. And the Azakana feasts. Steel Gale!
Lose the pep.
An enemy has been slain.
The haunted coward.
An ally has been slain.
Lies! I deem what
Buckle by your sins. There's the shadows.
cast out! Sleep So many try to flee their burdens. Fleeing is impossible.
Bring it down a notch.
Asakana lurk everywhere. I detest their depredations.
Fancy.
The spirit realm is
Honestly,
Strange.
you taught yourself just by
an
being
inverse of our own. Farewell.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
To return to sea.
An ally has been slain.
Wear a mask long enough, and you forget the face beneath.
An ally has been slain.
I do not hunt to kill.
wouldn't do that.
Spirit unborn. Complicated. Severed! Back to the hunt.
An enemy is unstoppable. An ally has been slain.
Can you tell them I apologize?
Sleep is not
Well, look at you.
to save someone.
Your turret has been destroyed. destroyed. Shut down. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
Now, it's a little personal.
Not here.
No fate, nor destiny. Only tomorrow.
Demons take many
Enemy
forms.
killing spree. Shut down.
Excised.
Without a banquet of sorrow, an Azakana starves.
Azakana abound. Be gone.
Between uncertainty and fear,
Slain. An ally has been slain.
Walk both realms.
Has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Ally has been slain.
What does one do with an abundance of tasks?
Enemy killing spree.
Hardly.
Shut down.
Come here! I thought death would grant me peace. How naive. I've walked it once before.
An ally has been slain.
Seriously?
An ally has been slain.
Is the person who
A summoner has disconnected. Defeat.
For only an hour, Cloutifull removed the video and scrubbed his entire YouTube channel and social media profiles. Later that day, Cloutifull confessed that he was in fact cheating by changing his keyboard settings, and was soon after banned from the ranks. Immediately after all of this came to light, there was some minor debate about whether or not changing the way the keyboard functions was in fact cheating, or if Cloutifull even thought that what he was doing was wrong. The creator of the keyboard even defended Cloutifull's actions on their Twitter account, though this was rescinded almost immediately after they were educated on why it was cheating. Whether or not Cloutifull thought this was wrong is pretty obvious. He lied and said he wasn't using it, and then uploaded a video trying to deceive people even further. These aren't the actions of someone who didn't know that it was cheating. Once again, another top player ends up disgraced because they didn't appreciate what they had. I will say this again because it bears repeating. Cloutifull was a really good player. When it comes to pure aiming talent, he is definitely one of the world's best. 99.9% of Osu players would kill to have the same skill that he has, and yet for him, it wasn't enough. Cloutifull is still young though, so ultimately this might have been a great lesson to learn, and best learn it now before the consequences truly matter. A big thanks to Plasma, Tyler, and Scytho for chatting with me about the game. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will
Sing with me, sing for the year, sing for the laughter and sing for the tear. Dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on till your dreams come true.
The EVA server is already open. Be the first in the genuine MMORPG.
In a dark apartment, someone keeps knocking on the door. Hana goes to check it out and hears a growling noise, so she takes her gun and waits. Suddenly a monster breaks the door and gets ready to attack, but Hana quickly shoots it down. Soon more monsters appear inside the apartment and they get shot down too with perfect aim from Hana. She doesn't get scared either when even more beasts appear in the corridor and burst inside. Hana continues to shoot without hesitation, quickly reloading the gun when she runs out of bullets. The monsters keep on going and corner her on her own bed, where she suddenly asks things to stop. It turns out this is a video game and she's noticed a glitched monster, so she informs the creator. Before hanging up, the creator asks her to join the tournament this year, but she turns the offer down because she knows she has no chance of winning. Hana works as a professional video game player and tester, which doesn't always pay well. However, it's the perfect job for her because she suffers from agoraphobia, meaning she's deeply afraid of leaving her home. This is why her door has tons of locks and even an electronic one with a password. After spending the whole day testing that virtual reality game, she decides to comfort herself by playing Tetris on her old Game Boy. Sometime later, the mailman comes with a package and asks for her signature. Hana has to ask him to leave the package and the device in front of the door and hide, which the mailman does after some hesitation. Then Hana opens the door just enough to peek out and sign on the device. At that moment a little girl appears in the corridor and asks why Hana is scared. She also asks to enter the apartment, which Hana turns down. The mailman hears her from the stairs and asks her to hurry up, so Hana takes her package and goes back inside, noticing that the little girl is gone. The interaction has triggered her anxiety, so Hana locks the door as fast as possible before having a breakdown. When she's feeling better, Hana calls a friend to tell her she got early access to the latest gaming controller and invites her to play. While waiting, Hana exercises to keep her body in shape since she can't go out. Eventually her friend arrives and knows she must text Hana instead of knocking. Hana unlocks the door and hides, allowing Jen to come in and close the door without triggering a panic attack. After Jen drops the bags with groceries she's bought for Hana, they open the package together and find a very strange looking headband with the name Omnia but no instructions. As soon as Hana presses the button, the device automatically connects itself to her computer and opens its own software. Hana logs in with the device number and an AI voice welcomes her to Omnia, asking her to put on the headband. Once Hana does that, the AI explains the devices can read, measure, and decode characteristic patterns in her brain. The images she sees on the screen are a real-time recording of her brain activity and it can control any other device or software, so when it comes to gaming, her reaction time will be reduced to 0. First they need to calibrate it, so Hana starts working on the exercises while Jen cooks a bunch of meals that will keep Hana fed for a few days. The first exercise is about typing, so Hana has to press the letter that appears on the screen. She starts by using her fingers normally, but eventually the machine learns how she thinks and buttons aren't needed anymore. Now Hana can type words on the screen by just thinking them. Hana gets so obsessed with it that she doesn't even touch the food. At that moment the landlord knocks on the door asking for the rent money, so Jen has to tell him to go away since Hana didn't even hear the knock. Then Jen announces she must leave and Hana finally gets off the chair to get the door, but the exercise on the screen continues to be filled. When the computer changes to the second exercise, the power goes out for a few seconds before coming back to normal. Hana goes back to the calibration, which this time asks her to use the mouse. For the next several hours, Hana does nothing but work on calibrating the device, which starts asking to test other things like headphones and microphone. Whenever she gets sleepy, she drinks tons of energy drinks to stay awake. This causes the AI to point out her reaction time is slowing and tells her to rest. Hana goes to sleep, yet the device keeps on reading her brain patterns and the speaker starts playing lots of static noises in the apartment. A strange vision of a child's hand and a bird in a cage haunt Hana's dreams. When Hana wakes up, she's horrified to discover her gums are bleeding. As she stares in the mirror, the little girl from yesterday knocks on her door and asks her to play with her because there aren't other kids in the building. Hana explains she can't and shares stories of her childhood. When she was a child, her mother wouldn't let her out so she had to learn how to play alone. This is why she became a fan of video games and addicted to Tetris. She offers to lend Tetris to the girl, but she isn't answering anymore. The conversation has made Hana nostalgic, so she searches for an old box in her closet and starts looking at childhood pictures, crying as she remembers playing with her dad under the rain. She still has the ball from those days and when Jen visits again, they play with it as part of the device calibration since the next exercise is about reflexes and depth perception. Jen gets bored and throws the ball on the bed while Hana mentions music, causing the device to play some songs in the speakers. The girls then have fun dancing together. Moments later, the next exercise asks for pain. Jen refuses to help and leaves. Using a tool, Hana ends up doing it herself. Thankfully, just a little line is enough, and this finally finishes the calibration process. The AI explains the device will continue to learn the more Hana uses it. Afterward, Hana takes care of her wound and finally eats something before grabbing a bunch of energy drink cans and going back to the computer. She starts playing the game normally, but soon she stops using her hands, controlling everything with just her mind, thanks to the device. Just as promised, her reaction time is flawless and she easily wins every match. Meanwhile, in her room, the bedsheets are moving and a mysterious hand grabs the ball. Hana hears a noise and takes a look, but there's nothing there. She keeps playing for a few hours and finally decides to enter the tournament with a nickname. At that moment, the ball appears rolling on the floor behind her, and when she's about to pick it up, she's startled by a sudden knock on the door. It's the landlord, who is asking for the rent money again. While Hana goes to ask him for more time, the ball floats up and glitches until it disappears. The landlord says Jen promised the money many days ago while Hana thinks it was yesterday, making her realize she's lost track of time. Hana promises the money will come next week and asks about a girl living in the building, but the landlord is already gone. Then Hana returns to the living room and discovers the ball has disappeared. Sometime later, Hana goes through her exercise routine, not noticing the strange
Your allegiances mean nothing to me.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
On the razor's edge. Only fools pledge life to honor.
Minions have spawned.
There's nowhere to hide.
First blood.
Don't cross me. They won't survive. Let's finish this quickly. Enjoy the taste of steel.
An ally has been slain.
No challenge. I never compromise. Pathetic. Your allegiances mean nothing to me. Here we go.
An ally has been slain.
On the razor's edge. Only fools pledge life to honor. There's nowhere to hide. Their bones will wet my blade. Don't cross me. They won't survive.
An ally has been slain.
Let's finish this quickly. I never compromise. Your allegiance means nothing to me.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
On the razor.
An enemy has been slain.
Another body for the gutter. This place, my favorite. Only fools pledge life to honor. Enjoy the taste of steel.
Just pass through.
has been slain.
There's nowhere to hide.
An ally has been slain. You have been slain.
Now you see him.
An enemy has been slain.
Don't cross me. They won't survive. Let's finish this quickly.
An ally has been slain.
I never
An
compromise.
enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Your allegiances mean nothing to me. On the razor's edge.
An ally has been slain.
Only fools pledge life to honor. Nowhere to hide. Don't cross me. They won't survive. Ha! Let's finish this quickly. I never compromise.
What do you make me do? Rampage.
Allegiances mean nothing to me. Here we go. On the razor's edge.
An enemy has been slain.
There's nowhere to hide. Don't cross me. They won't survive.
Hey, you! I got some childhood trauma I'm looking to work through.
Executed. Your turret has been destroyed.
Let's finish this quickly.
Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
Allegiances mean nothing to me.
Unstoppable.
On the razor's edge.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain. Dominating.
Only fools make light to honor.
An ally has been slain. Killing spree.
There's nowhere to hide. Pathetic.
Shut down.
Don't cross me.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Your turret has been destroyed. Godlike.
They won't survive.
Is that gun bullseye? Blank blank is the only blank I like.
I never compromise. allegiances mean nothing to me.
Legendary.
Only fools pledge life to honor. Nowhere to hide.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. Your turret has been destroyed. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Don't cross me.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy killing spree. Killing spree.
Not so close.
Let's finish this
Enemy
quickly.
rampage. Shut down. An ally has been slain.
I never compromise.
Executed.
Your allegiances mean nothing to me. On the razor's edge. There's nowhere to hide.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Shut down. An ally has been slain.
This blade's my favorite.
An ally has been slain.
Target marked. Immaculate.
They won't survive. Let's finish this quickly. I never compromise. Your allegiances mean nothing to me. Only fools pledge life to honor.
Enemy killing spree.
There's nowhere to hide.
Rampage. Shut down.
Don't cross me. They won't survive.
An enemy has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
Let's finish this quickly. I never compromise.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy rampage. An ally has been slain. Ally has been slain.
On the razor's edge. Fools pledge life to honor.
There's nowhere to hide.
An ally has been slain. Enemy killing spree. Your army is unstoppable. Enemy rampage. Enemy double kill. Aced. Your turret has been destroyed. Your inhibitor has been destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed. A summoner has disconnected. Defeat.
Ghost appearing in her room. The next time she showers, she finds her mouth bleeding more heavily and suddenly her face becomes monstrous in the mirror, but it turns out to be a nightmare. As she tries to calm down, the ball reappears in the living room. While she notices this, the strange ghost appears behind her and is again not seen. Getting worried, Hana activates her phone with her mind and calls Jen, asking her to come over and apologizing for her behavior. Then Hana puts on her VR set and waves her hand over the ball, causing it to disappear. Doing the same brings it back, and even transforms it into a bird that she picks up. The little bird flies around before returning to the floor and becoming a ball again. When Jen finally comes by, Hana is doing so work on her computer to make it run faster. She wants the hardware to be able to keep up with her new gaming speed and win the tournament, especially since the prize is $250,000. Hana also convinces Jen to bet money on her since her winning is pretty much guaranteed. 6 hours later, the tournament finally starts and Hana destroys every opponent without even trying, causing Jen to win tons of money. Suddenly something appears on the screen and when Hana takes a closer look, a hand reaches out and tries to grab her, so Hana immediately steps away. The hand quickly disappears and Jen is confused because she didn't see anything. Feeling too anxious, Hana asks Jen to play for her while she takes a break. After taking the headband off, she gets in the bathroom and takes some medicine to stop an incoming breakdown. At that moment she feels her arm itching and checks under her band-aid to discover a simple cut has become a nasty wound. While Hana cries, Jen explains she didn't win the match but Hana still passed to the next round. She also reminds Hana that she'll always be there for her, but Hana stays silent. Once Hana comes out, they play retro video games and she shares the story of the little girl, which Jen finds weird because she doesn't know of any children in the building. Then Hana makes a confession. Her mother was agoraphobic too, so it's always been in her genes. She feels bad for having become like her mother and Jen offers to help her leave, but Hana doesn't dare. After Jen falls asleep, Hana distracts herself by playing Tetris, not noticing the way the walls and objects in her apartment were coming apart in cubes floating around her. The next morning, Jen notices Hana looks tired and Hana isn't even sure if she slept or not. After Jen leaves for work, Hana hears some chatter and discovers a shadow outside the door. Suddenly the little girl speaks and Hana tells her she'll lend her a game, but when she turns around, she discovers the door has been opened. Terrified, Hana gathers her strength and dares to step out on the corridor as she hears the girl giggling. She hesitantly takes another step only to hear her door close behind her, so she desperately runs back and tries to open it. Somehow it's locked and Hana must use her key, but there's also the matter of the security chain. At that moment the lights start flickering and a ghost appears in the corridor screaming like a banshee. A horrified Hana keeps on hitting the door until she can finally burst inside and quickly closes it again before having a breakdown. After calming down, she calls the Omnia company to know if any other testers have had side effects, but they tell her that if the diagnosis she ran were fine then it isn't the device's fault. They still offer to take it back for repair, however Hana needs to win the tournament and decided to keep it. Then Hana keeps on playing and reaches the top 3 in the tournament ranking. After the match, she's so tired that she falls asleep on her chair and the ball falls from her hand. Suddenly the computer shuts down and darkness takes over the apartment. Hana wakes up and looks around, finding her room empty. However, when she turns around, the little girl appears and says we've always been here. At that moment the ghost starts surrounding the girl and screams again, causing the whole room to shake. Hana covers her ears in pain and the noise starts making her float, only to drop her after a few seconds. The computer is on again and both the girl and the ghost have disappeared. Moments later, Jen comes over to watch Hana win the final round and become the tournament champion. Hana is tired and falls asleep on the chair again, but she still has time to hug Jen and celebrate her victory. She has a vision of a bloodstained screwdriver only to wake up and realize it was a dream. Not knowing what parts were real or not, Hana calls Jen's name and gets no answer. Then she looks at the screen and confirms she won the tournament. Suddenly she hears the noise of her shower running, so she rushes to the bathroom only to find it empty. After shutting off the shower, her arm gets itchy again. Hana tries calling Jen and hears the ringtone in her apartment because Jen left the phone there. Her laptop is there too next to a package Hana didn't bring in. Hana's confusion is interrupted when her computer announces the prize money has been sent. Next Hana asks the AI if the device is playing tricks on her, but the AI assures her that the device only does what her brain wants. While Hana looks at her dad's pictures, the ghost appears near the door but disappears when someone knocks on the door. It's the landlord, who confirms he got the payment. Hana takes the chance to ask about Jen, but the landlord says he hasn't seen her in a while. Then Hana eats the food Jen left ready for her, but as soon as she takes a bite she spits it out because it tastes disgusting. When she takes a closer look she discovers it's full of bugs. Afterward Hana spends many hours in front of the computer not knowing what else to do. The ghost appears behind her as time passes, but it disappears when Hana moves. Her arm is itching again and she checks the wound, only to discover it's grown into a big disgusting thing. Finally snapping out of it, Hana decides to keep herself busy by playing with the ball while talking about the last year she spent with her mom. She wasn't allowed to go out, but she enjoyed being with her all the time. The ball keeps on bouncing on the wall, but when Hana fails and throws it into the room, something throws it back at her. Sometime later, a new package arrives and Hana grabs it without bothering to sign. Inside she finds the tournament trophy. Then she takes a look at the package on the table and finds a card that says "For when you're ready" from Jen. Hana opens the box and discovers a brand new pair of shoes. As she puts them on, Jen's phone starts ringing with a call from an unknown number, but Hana ignores it. Suddenly the speakers start playing static and the whispers of a woman that start going up in volume until they become painful to hear. At that moment Jen appears behind her and Hana rushes to hug her as the memory of celebrating her win rushed to her mind. Noticing Jen is wet, Hana steps back only to discover a bloodstained screwdriver in her hand and a stab wound in Jen's stomach. Hana rushes to grab a phone to call for help, but when she looks back, Jen has disappeared. Feeling crazy, Hana falls to her knees and screams in frustration, causing the ghost and the little girl to appear for a few seconds. Then Hana realizes the device is using all her trauma to get in her head, so she takes it off. However, the device is still in her head. Hana keeps on trying, but every time she grabs it is just an illusion and the real device is still connected. Terrified, she decides she needs to leave and runs to her room to pack, not seeing the other presents nearby. Then she takes a moment to concentrate and gather her strength to fight her fears, only for a hand to pull at her jacket. Hana turns around and sees a glitching body being dragged into the bathroom, so she rushes to follow it. To her shock, she finds Jen's body rotting in the tub. She even touches it to confirm it's real and it causes her to have a breakdown. Suddenly the room changes and reveals what Hana has refused to see. It's another mess. Next Hana checks the rest of the apartment, finding it in the same condition. It's dirty and messy everywhere, not to mention the rotten food in the kitchen. This makes her realize she's been in denial for weeks without noticing the pass of time. Panicking, Hana finally is desperate enough to leave the apartment and runs through the stairs before her phobia can make her freeze. Eventually she makes it to Jen's apartment, but when she turns on the light, she finds herself back in her own place. Hana watches in shock a vision of herself stabbing Jen, then the other Hana turns around and says welcome to the Omnia with the AI's voice before transforming into a horrible monster. A terrified Hana runs out of the apartment as she sees the monster coming after her. A chase ensues through the stairs and with every step one more monster joins the first one. Eventually Hana makes it to the roof and stops running when she feels the rain falling on her body after years of being inside. It reminds her of better times and helps her calm down. She's finally reached inner peace, so when the monsters also arrive, Hana jumps. As she falls, she watches a glitching bird fly by. The moment her body hits the ground, Hana reappears in her apartment and sees the ghost waiting for her. Realizing that's her mother, Hana begs her to let her leave and asks her why she killed Jen. Suddenly someone knocks on the door, making the ghost disappear. The police are outside the apartment, but Hana is having a breakdown. She doesn't want her mother to hurt anyone else, so she promises to never leave the apartment again. In the end the police and the paramedics break down the door and find Jen's body, yet Hana doesn't acknowledge them. She just keeps playing Tetris on her Game Boy. When the cops finally arrest her, they remove the device and Hana laughs. However, when they try to drag her out, she panics and screams, making the apartment shake and bringing the officers down as the door is shut. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos.
There's nowhere to hide. Only
Welcome
fools
to
live
Summoner's
life of
Rift.
honor.
"30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Don't cross me.
Your allegiances mean nothing to me. They won't survive. I never compromise. Let's finish this quickly. Another body from the gutter. There's nowhere to hide.
First blood.
This is no challenge.
An ally has been slain.
Only fools pledge life to honor.
An ally has been slain.
On the razor's edge. Don't cross me. Your allegiances mean nothing to me. They won't survive. I never compromise.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Let's finish this quickly. There's nowhere to hide. survive.
An ally has been slain.
Enjoy the taste of steel. Let's finish this quickly. There's nowhere to hide.
Spirit fire.
Only fools pledge life to honor. Pathetic.
Killing spree.
You've earned your rest.
They won't survive. Never Let's finish this quickly. There's nowhere to hide. Only fools pledge life to honor.
time's just beginning.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Don't cross me.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy killing spree.
Allegiances mean nothing to me. They won't survive. I never compromise. Let's finish this quickly. There's nowhere to hide.
Time to show them the way.
Only fools pledge life to honor.
Killing spree. Enemy rampage.
On the razor's edge.
Rampage. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Don't
Your
cross
turret
me.
has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
Allegiances mean nothing to me. They won't survive. I never compromise. Leaving. Let's finish this quickly.
I am the storm!
fools pledge life to honor.
Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
Don't cross me. Your allegiances mean nothing to me.
An ally has been slain.
They won't survive.
Your turret has been destroyed. An ally has been slain.
I never compromise.
An ally has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Only fools pledge life to honor. This is no challenge.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
They won't
Double
survive.
kill. An enemy is unstoppable. An enemy has been slain.
I never compromise. The screams. Let's finish this quickly.
Triple kill. Aced.
There's nowhere to hide. Only fools pledge life to honor.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain.
On the razor's edge. Don't rush. Allegiances mean nothing to me. They won't survive. Let's finish this quickly.
An enemy has been slain.
There's nowhere to hide.
An An ally has been slain.
Only fools.
You have been slain.
On the razor's edge. Don't cross me. They won't survive.
Slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. Rampage. Double kill. Shut down.
Let's finish this quickly.
An ally has been slain.
Nowhere to hide. Only fools pledge life to honor. Mean nothing to me.
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
What you make me
Ace. Victory!
One of the greatest tragedies to come from the consolidation of technical services under fewer and fewer companies is the increased amount of sensitive data that gets leaked whenever one of those companies gets hacked. One of the most recent examples is the AI data company Snowflake that provides cloud services for a number of different companies, including AT&T. So now it looks like the company that's behind America's most reliable 5G network also has some of the least reliable information security. Now, one of the first companies that fell victim to data leaks via Snowflake was Santander Bank. a database that includes millions of Santander customer bank account numbers, credit card numbers, and account balances so that you know who the whales are, was put up for sale for a price of $2 million by Shiny Hunters, the current head administrator of our favorite dark web hacking forum / Interpol honeypot, Breach Forums. A couple of days before this, the same administrator posted another database sale weighing in at 1.3 terabytes of information with a cost of $500,000 for 560 million Live Nation / Ticketmaster users. Live Nation is the parent company of Ticketmaster, in case you didn't know. And this database also included very sensitive information, like the customer's names, the last 4 digits of their credit cards, and the expiration dates of said credit cards. And this is why you may have seen warnings like this in the Experian dashboard or other services that are related to credit in the past few weeks, because there's a very good chance that your credit card information has been included in more than one database that has been passed around by hackers on the dark web for a number of months now. Originally, the number of corporations that were affected by the Snowflake hack was thought to be in the dozens, but now that number has ballooned to over 160. And there's likely going to be more victims uncovered in the coming weeks, as is often the case with supply chain attacks of this kind. Mandiant, a security firm that is a subsidiary of Google, is tracking this incident as UNC 5537. Now, according to their blog post, all of the compromises that are being tracked so far were the result of login credentials for Snowflake accounts being stolen with InfoStealer malware. And on top of that, the compromised accounts were not using any kind of multi-factor authentication. Now, according to Mandiant, these login credentials were primarily obtained from non-Snowflake-owned systems, and some of the credentials taken from the InfoStealer infections dated as far back as 2020. 79.7% of the credentials that were used in the Snowflake data scraping
Your allegiances mean nothing to me.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Let's finish this quickly. I never compromise. There's nowhere to hide. Storm of blades. Only fools pledge life to honor. They won't survive. Steel gale.
First blood.
Cross the vein. Cross me. Your allegiances mean nothing to me.
An enemy has been slain.
Let's finish this quickly. Pathetic. Storm of blades. I never compromise. There's nowhere to hide. Only fools pledge life to honor.
An enemy has been slain.
They won't survive. On the razor's edge. Let's finish this quickly. I never compromise. There's nowhere to hide. Only one has life to honor. They won't survive.
An ally has been slain. You have been slain.
Blades. On the razor's edge.
An ally has been slain.
Another body.
An ally has been slain.
Don't cross me. Storm of blades. Your allegiances mean nothing to me. Let's finish this quickly. I never compromise.
An enemy has been slain.
My favorite.
An enemy has been slain.
There's nowhere to
An
hide.
ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Only fools pledge life to honor. They won't
An
survive.
ally has been slain.
On the razor's edge. Don't cross me. Cross the Your allegiances mean nothing to me.
Killing spree.
Let's finish this quickly.
She's still with me!
I never compromise.
An ally has been slain. Enemy killing spree. An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Enemy double kill. Your turret has been destroyed.
There's nowhere to hide. Only fools pledge life to honor.
Enemy round. Enemy has been slain.
Aw, too bad.
They won't survive.
Executed. An enemy is unstoppable.
On the razor's edge.
Enemy double kill. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Don't cross me.
A summoner has disconnected.
Your allegiances mean nothing to me.
A summoner has reconnected.
Let's finish this quickly.
Your turret has been destroyed. A summoner has
I never compromise.
Your turret has been destroyed. A summoner has reconnected. Shut down. You have been slain.
There's nowhere to hide.
A summoner has reconnected.
This is no challenge.
An ally has been slain. Enemy triple kill. A summoner has reconnected. Your inhibitor has been destroyed. Defeat.
Campaign had been exposed in the past. These were known exposed credentials, and obviously they didn't get updated before this massive security incident. In several of the Snowflake-related incidents, Mandiant said that the initial compromise of credentials occurred on contractor systems that were being used for both personal activities like gaming and downloading pirated software, and for managing these cloud system accounts. And so this is what likely led to the info stealer malware getting on these systems in the first place, this mixing of different activities. Now, I'm not saying that all pirated media is rife with malware, as Hollywood executives want you to believe, but it obviously does carry a greater risk than obtaining the media legitimately, especially with software. And judging from what we do know about these compromised systems and the people using them, you know, the fact that the user didn't change their passwords for years, they didn't use multi-factor authentication, or just think to do their personal and work activities on separate systems in the first place, tells me that these users' OPSEC was well below that of someone who can safely sail the digital high seas. Now, these contractors are some of the juiciest targets for hackers. That's something you really should keep in mind, especially if you are a contractor yourself, because contractors are oftentimes using their own systems, as we see here, and their systems don't have corporate software restrictions on them to stop them from pirating software or participating in other non-work-related activities. And the reason for this is because these contractors are essentially self-employed. And these contractors oftentimes have multiple corporate customers that they are working with, that they're contracted with to assist with things like Snowflake accounts. Contractors are also much more appealing to the tech corporations themselves than hiring additional employees because the contractors are much cheaper. The companies don't have to pay for the contractors' healthcare, their parking, or their PTO or maternity leave. Contractors are much easier to fire than employees are, and it's usually cheaper to hire a contractor that's already familiar with software like Snowflake than to spend additional resources on training an employee that's already hired into your company. And like I said in this video's intro, the corporate tech landscape has shifted to where more and more companies are relying on these third-party services like Snowflake to handle the storage of their data in the cloud, which creates this perfect storm of cut corners and cost savings measures to create what is probably one of the largest data breaches in human history. And man, I wish that title was more meaningful, because it seems like every other week we end up having the new largest data breach in human history. So what can be done to prevent these ongoing occurrences of massive data breaches in the future? Well, I highly doubt that any of these companies are going to go back to having internal employees handling all of this sensitive data like access to Snowflake instances, and I further doubt that these companies are going to invest in hosting their own cloud infrastructure.
Problemen met grijs haar, die heb ik niet meer. De nieuwe
But at the very least, they should have a security professional, either internal or, I guess, contracted, to assess the security of these accounts. Of course, you can't do much for securing the contractor's computer when he's downloading games from the Pirate Bay in his free time, but these companies could have at least required multi-factor authentication to be used on their Snowflake instances, because at the end of the day, it is AT&T or Santander or Ticketmaster that is responsible for implementing these kinds of policies on their Snowflake instances. And if you do that, it doesn't matter so much that your contractor has been using the same password that got compromised back in 2020, although I should mention that it is kind of difficult to set up multi-factor authentication with Snowflake, because apparently you can't just do a company-wide multi-factor authentication policy. You have to go through and apply it account by account, although it appears that Snowflake is trying to work on a change to this system. And there also could have been network policies that were put in place to only allow access to the Snowflake instances from a corporate VPN or some other controlled IP address. That way you're not getting access by a hacker that's, I don't know, in Eastern Europe or something like that. But then, of course, the companies would have to give access to that VPN to the contractor and also make sure that the VPN doesn't have excessive downtime, because then they can't access their Snowflake instance, and potentially other services that are relying on the Snowflake instance won't work either. But of course, none of this is going to change if you, the end customer, don't vote with your dollar to create an impact on these companies that is greater than the cost of them just doing their security correctly in the first place. And finally, to you, the end user, make sure that you stay vigilant against things like scam calls and text messages and, of course, identity theft, since everyone's credit cards have been stolen multiple times over in the Snowflake incident. But as far as this AT&T hack goes, the hackers who stole the call data from AT&T are absolutely going to sell that to scammers who then could use those call records.
Only fools pledge life to honor.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
They
30 seconds until minions spawn.
There's nowhere to
First blood. Minions have spawned.
It's smaller than the diagram.
on the razor's edge. Your allegiances mean nothing to me. I never compromise. Let's finish this quickly.
It's smaller than the diagram.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
They won't survive. There's nowhere to hide.
An enemy has been slain.
Allegiances mean nothing to me. This is no challenge.
Enemy killing spree.
I never compromise. This blade's my favorite.
Enemy has been slain.
Don't cross me. Let's finish this quickly.
The sweet smell of science. It's smaller than the
Only
diagram.
fools pledge life to honor. They won't survive. There's
Enemy
nowhere to
rampage.
hide. Their bones will wet my blade. On the razor's edge. Your allegiance means nothing to me.
Killing spree. An enemy is unstoppable.
Let's finish this quickly. Only fools pledge life to honor. They won't survive. Pathetic. There's nowhere to hide.
Ah, the sweet smell of science.
On the razor's edge.
Perhaps I should try more rockets.
Another body for the gutter. Your allegiances mean nothing to me.
An ally has been slain.
I never compromise.
An ally has been slain.
Don't cross me.
An enemy is dominating.
Enjoy the taste of steel. Let's finish this quickly. Only fools pledge life to honor. They won't survive. There's nowhere to hide.
Ah, the sweet smell of science.
Rampage. Shut down.
This is no challenge.
An ally has been slain.
razor's edge. Your allegiances mean nothing to me.
It's smaller than the diagram.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Don't cross me. Pathetic.
An enemy has been slain. Killing spree.
Let's finish this quickly.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain.
Body for the gunner. Only fools pledge life to
It's smaller than the diagram.
Enjoy the taste of steel.
Rampage.
They won't survive. Their bones will wet my blade.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain.
On the razor's edge.
An enemy has been slain.
Your allegiances mean nothing to me. I never
Unstoppable.
compromise.
Ah, the sweet smell of science.
Let's finish this quickly. Only fools pledge life to honor.
Killing spree.
It's smaller than the diagram.
There's nowhere to hide. On the razor's edge. Your allegiances mean nothing to me. I never compromise.
Rampage. Slain an enemy. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Don't cross me. Let's finish this quickly.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Only fools pledge life to honor.
An enemy has been slain.
They won't survive.
An ally has been slain.
War ends now.
You have slain an enemy.
Nowhere to hide.
Shut down. Enemy double kill.
Your allegiances mean nothing to me. I never compromise. Don't cross me. Let's
Has been slain.
Your final breath!
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Double kill. An ally has been slain. Triple kill.
They won't survive.
Ace.
Pathetic.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
There's nowhere to hide. Your allegiances mean nothing to me. I never.
An ally has been slain.
Don't cross me.
The sweet smell of science.
The enemy has been
Only fools pledge life to honor. They won't survive.
Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
Nowhere to hide. On the razor's edge.
Diagram.
has been destroyed. Killing spree. Double kill.
Never compromise.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Killing spree.
Don't cross me. Let's finish this quickly.
An ally has been slain.
No time for mercy.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Only fools.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Your team has destroyed a legendary. Unstoppable. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
They won't survive.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Victory!
To impersonate people that are in your contacts list and use that for spear phishing attacks. Now, I know most of my subscribers probably won't fall victim to these, but make sure you protect your boomers, because in this cyberpunk dystopia, they really are the most vulnerable.